coronavirus coverage brought to you by East Valley COVID-19 testing site, serving residents of eastern Coachella Valley.
As coronavirus numbers spike, more than 1.3 million people applied for unemployment benefits last week. Unemployed workers also filed more than 900,000 claims for pandemic unemployment assistance in 47 states. The U.S. has recovered roughly 8 million of the more than 20 million jobs lost since the coronavirus pandemic forced thousands of businesses to close in March. Local hospitals are at or near capacity. Desert Regional and JFK are both part of the Tenet healthcare system. They're bringing in traveling nurses to help with the surge in COVID cases. The two hospitals combined have over 80 nurses from around the country, with almost 50 more expected to join them next week. These nurses typically stay at the hospital for about 12 weeks.
I know that the doctors and nurses in all of our hospitals are exhausted and working very hard and tirelessly, reaching their capacity.
Desert Regional has at least 95 COVID patients, JFK with at least 38. And at Eisenhower Medical Center, a federal medical team arrives today to assist with the influx of coronavirus patients. Similar teams are already on the ground in COVID-19 hotspots across the country, including Houston, Texas. Our Kitty Alvarado has learned exclusive details about this mission from a federal source.
The cavalry is coming. The U.S. Air Force 60th Air Wing Medical Group from Travis Air Force Base is on its way to help Eisenhower Health deal with the surge of COVID patients.
From a staffed bed standpoint, we're really pushing up to essentially 100% capacity.
An advance team already toured the hospital to help better prepare the team of doctors, physician's assistants, critical care nurses, and respiratory therapists that are expected to arrive on Thursday. The mission name is COVID Theater Hospital 1, but their real mission is to relieve the weary staff who've been going nonstop since the pandemic began.
It really has become difficult for everyone here. Their heart is in it, but we have to be sure that we really take care of ourselves, we take care of our staff, as well as meet the increasing needs of the community. And we were getting into a situation where that was becoming very, very difficult to really try to juggle without some help from outside. I'm not sure how we could have done that.
Similar military teams were deployed to New York at the height of the crisis. Now these military medical professionals are deployed throughout Texas and California.
Our nurses are overworked. They're extremely exhausted. Right. This is a breath of fresh air for all of us.
Thanks to this team of heroes coming to the rescue of our heroes, more lives can be saved.
We're so grateful to them for what they're doing.
Kitty Alvarado, NBC Palm Springs.
A federal source tells NBC Palm Springs the team was packing their bags and are heading this way, and they should arrive today. They'll go through orientation and be treating patients by Saturday. Let's take a look at the latest numbers, the COVID-19 numbers. 890 new cases were reported in Riverside County yesterday. 207 of those in the valley. 24 new deaths were reported in the county, 14 of those in the valley. County officials say over 10,000 residents have recovered. Researchers at Georgia Tech have come up with a way to gauge your risk of being exposed to COVID-19. The COVID-19 event risk model is an interactive map that calculates your chances of coming in contact with someone with COVID-19. You calculate your risk by zooming in on a state, then a specific county, and choosing the number of people you expect to be around. The Trump administration is asking hospitals to bypass the CDC when reporting coronavirus numbers and report directly to Health and Human Services. HHS calls CDC's database inadequate. CDC's database is accessible to the public and is used by researchers to make projections and decisions. HHS keeps its database private. Today, new mandates from the states and some major retailers requiring people to wear masks in public. And as NBC's Sam Brock reports now, the list of states requiring face masks continue to grow as cases in the U.S. rise past 3.5 million.
This morning, America's biggest retail giant putting its foot down on masks. Starting Monday, Walmart and Sam's Club will mandate facial coverings, saying in a statement, Because the virus can be spread by people who don't have symptoms and don't know they're infected, it's critically important for everyone to wear a face covering in public. More than a third of Walmart's 5,000 stores are in areas with no mask order. Now every store will have an employee stationed out front to enforce the rule. Kroger supermarkets also announcing they'll require masks starting next Wednesday. This as skyrocketing infections push more states to issue their own mandates, like Texas, where the governor hopes to avoid drastic action.
All we need is for people to wear masks. If everyone wears a mask, nothing will be locked down.
Alabama, the latest state joining the mandatory mask list after cases spiked over 70% in the last 2 weeks.
I get pretty emotional about this.
Alabama doctor David Thrasher says wearing a mask shouldn't be a debate.
But it's so political now. It shouldn't be us versus them.
Still, not everyone's convinced about the urgency of wearing masks. In Georgia, Governor Brian Kemp on Wednesday explicitly banning cities and counties from ordering people there to wear masks in public. Critics also blame President Trump, who's regularly seen in public without a mask. And in Oklahoma, where cases are surging, the governor himself just tested positive, but still no mask order.
Not thinking about a mask mandate at all.
Walmart's mask policy following other household names like Costco, Apple, Best Buy, and Starbucks. So far, reaction among customers is mixed.
I totally agree with it.
This is all a bunch of hogwash.
A new Gallup poll finds that while most Americans say they wear masks in public, 14% report never wearing one. The CDC now pleading with the public to comply, saying masks are key in curbing the pandemic.
I think if we could get everybody to wear a mask right now, I really do think over the next 4, 6, 8 weeks, we could bring this epidemic under control.
Walmart's decision coming as much of a protective measure for its own employees as it is for customers. The National Retail Federation applauded this move. They have been lobbying the Trump administration and governors across the country for weeks to try to make this a national standard. They said it is a privilege, not a right, to be able to shop inside of stores right now. In Miami, Sam Brock, NBC News.
And there is new research on the most effective types of masks. According to a study from Florida Atlantic University, well-fitted masks made from 2 layers of tightly stitched cotton fabric are the best when it comes to blocking the droplets from coughs. Researchers studied 3 other types of face coverings: bandanas, loose-fitting masks, and cone-style masks. The well-fitted masks with 2 layers were able to restrict how far a sneeze or cough traveled. A message now from some Coachella Valley leaders on the importance of masks. They're telling the greater Palm Springs area to mask up.
Small changes can make a big difference.
Wear face covering because we're in this together.
We pledge to keep our valley safe and reopen safely.
Let's stop the spread by being informed and doing our part.
We're all taking that pledge. Join us in taking that pledge with us.
We pledge to be responsible and to help save lives.
Each of us must pledge to keep our valley safe.
Let's be safer and greater together.
This is our pledge to you. We can get through this together.
Simple and clear information, and with that, let's take a live look at our Agua Caliente Casino cam in Rancho Mirage. It is now 9 after the hour. Let's check in with Jerry with our forecast. You say it's going to toasty up today.
Yeah, temperatures are going to go up for the weekend. Lovely blue skies right now. Temperature 98 degrees, almost at triple digits, kind of like yesterday. Winds are calm, 15% relative humidity. Going to be another dry day for us in the valley. Temp check time 73 up at Big Bear, 93 Yucca Valley, a sunny 98 at 29 Palms. A few triple digits popping up already. Thousand Palms, Palm Desert, and Mecca at that number, as is Rancho Mirage at 102. Cathedral City 98, clear skies over the valley, a lot of sunshine, not a whole lot going on over the southwest again today. Got to look to our east for that monsoonal moisture, a little bit of thunderstorm activity happening over the state right now, moving south to north. Today, like yesterday and the day before, around that 110 mark this afternoon, onshore winds getting a little breezy in the wind-prone areas late today, dew points in the 40-degree range, and getting our way in the top temps at around 4 or 5 o'clock. So 108s, 109s, 110s, 111s for today. About the same tomorrow in a Comfort Air 3-day forecast. Then we see the numbers inch up a little bit on Saturday. Hottest 2 days look like they'll be on Sunday and Monday. Full forecast and 7-day this half hour.
All right, Jerry, thank you. Coming up after the break, a series of crimes in Desert Hot Springs this week, but crime numbers there are down compared to this time last year. We'll have the details. Also coming up, the much debated how and when to reopen schools this fall. The California School Boards Association has a lot to say about that. As we go to break, here's a shot from our Agua Caliente Casino cam in Palm Springs. You can see a light breeze there, some of the palm trees swaying just a tad. And welcome back. Desert Hot Springs is seeing a string of violent crimes, including a shooting early yesterday morning. But the police department there says their numbers are actually down from last year. Our Olivia Sandusky reports some people are saying it's time for the city's reputation to change.
Over the last week, Desert Hot Springs police responded to multiple calls of shots fired. One on Calle Las Tiendas on the 8th, another on 6th Street Sunday morning, and an overnight shooting Wednesday that sent 2 men to the hospital. Members of the community say this pattern isn't uncommon.
You know, typically when you hear of a string of shootings, first thing you think is, oh no, not again.
But according to police data, crime numbers in Desert Hot Springs are substantially lower than 2019. However, the city did see a sharp increase in May and have responded to more domestic violence calls during the pandemic.
I understand it's a financial hardship. With that hardship comes tension at the home, depression, stress, which has led to an increase in domestic violence.
A report by the department also shows the city had a 15% reduction of violent and property crimes from 2018, making it the 3rd consecutive year the area has trended downward.
We have doubled the police force that we've had out on patrol on a daily basis, as well as a full detective division.
And despite recent events, residents like Pastor Shepard feel it's time for the area's reputation to change.
I think it's unfair, and I think it's unfortunate. Being a lifelong Valley resident, I can tell you, and we all know these things happen in every city in the Valley. For whatever reason, whenever it happens in DHS, it's like, oh my goodness, it's happening in DHS again. And a lot of it is warranted because of the past. But since, this last 5 years has been phenomenal.
Olivia Sandusky, NBC Palm Springs.
And some news from around the region. The 2021 Rose Bowl Parade in Pasadena is a no-go for the first time since World War II. Organizers say they want to team up with broadcast partners for a worldwide televised event to take its place. They also want to host a smaller local celebration with social distancing. The parade may be canceled, but the Rose Bowl football game is still on. The Orange County Board of Education approves recommendations to reopen classrooms next month. No social distancing or masks will be required. Thousands of parents and teachers have signed a petition urging the school board to follow state guidelines. Those tensions escalate outside the Board of Education building.
To open up the schools would just, be opening up death traps for tons of kids.
Here we've been planning in detail on how we're going to bring the students back safely, and they're just like, oh, throw caution to the wind. Just let's risk all the children's lives. I can't do that.
Children are very, very low risk for COVID-19, so it just doesn't make sense scientifically to keep them home, and it's important that our kids go back to school so they can learn.
Both Los Angeles and San Diego school districts announced all classes in fall will be online. Some USC students are getting an extra incentive to study from home. The school will hand out $4,000 in financial aid for the upcoming fall and spring semesters. The money will go to the undergrads who would otherwise receive aid for room and board so they can stay at home. Most of the fall classes will be held online. And the conversation on the most hydrating foods continues in Your Health Today. Thalia Hayden looks at the avocado, which may not seem hydrating, but she'll tell you all the benefits coming up. And take a look outside right now on our Walter Clark Highway 111 cam. It's absolutely gorgeous. This is from Rancho Mirage. Jerry has your full AccuWeather hot forecast coming up next.
Hey, good morning. Another beautiful view on our Agua Caliente Casino cam. Mountains and blue skies above. Plenty of sunshine this afternoon. We'll see more of the same tomorrow. Yesterday, we did have highs that were basically close to normal. Temps were just below 110 in the Coachella Valley. Basically going to see the same thing tomorrow. But things will change as we get into the weekend. Let's take a look at those numbers. Yesterday, 109 for Palm Springs. The average temp 108, so really close there. Currently moving into triple digits around the Coachella Valley. 101 at Palm Springs, 100 Desert Hot Springs and Coachella. 98 at 29 Palms, 90 at Cabazon, 77 Big Bear at this hour. Clear skies, lots of sunshine over the Coachella Valley. Have to look for the monsoonal moisture well to our east right now. You can see all those clouds streaming from south to north over the Four Corners states. And yeah, thunderstorm activity, that's where it is. It's going to stay there for the next several days too. We continue with our dry and Typical hot weather pattern. 108 to 112 for today with lots of sunshine. Onshore flow will kick in late in the day. Not as bad as yesterday, but still wind-prone areas getting some gusty winds. San Gorgonio Pass. High desert too, but just breezy for most of us in the Coachella Valley. And like this morning, we'll see some patchy fog west of the mountains, a little more inland than this morning, pushing all the way up into Beaumont, I-10, I-60. Yeah, patchy stratus possible before 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. 110 today for Palm Springs, 109 at Thousand Palms, 105 at 29 Palms, 90s around the San Gorgonio Pass today, and about the same as we move into tomorrow afternoon. Lots of 110s for Friday under plenty of sunshine. Things change over the weekend. Ridge of high pressure will strengthen, boosting those numbers up a little higher. Lots of low teens for the Coachella Valley under mostly sunny skies. And then Sunday, we get some of the hottest weather. So 114 to 117 the range. Yeah, 117, that's up there. That's excessive heat. So take care. Sunday and again on Monday, we'll see similar numbers. So lots of sunshine today, tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday. Expecting a few clouds, mid-level moisture to move in by Monday, but not all that bad over the next few days. As far as surface moisture, yeah, the dry weather pattern continues. We'll see relative humidity in the teens, a little drier Saturday and Sunday with single-digit relative humidity a possibility. As I mentioned, monsoonal moisture staying well to the east of us, taking you through the next several days. Where's that monsoonal moisture, upper-level moisture going to be? Well, out of sight early next week, but then Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday begins to inch in our direction. Now we push that back to Friday, and again on Saturday, when much of the southwest will be saturated with moisture in the upper levels, mid as well. And we could see a few mountain thunderstorms as you move into Friday and Saturday of next week. Here's your Comforter 7-day forecast. 110 today, tomorrow. Numbers move up a little bit, but not that outrageous for Friday and Saturday with temps in the low 120s. It's Sunday and Monday. It'll get a little toasty around the Coachella Valley. 114 for Palm Springs both days.
The debate continues and is heated whether to send your child back to the classroom this fall. Is it too soon? The president says no. But what does the California School Boards Association think? Here this morning is Troy Flint, the board's chief information officer. Troy, it's good to have you with us. The CDC warns that reopening schools would be, quote, the highest risk for the spread of the virus. What advice are you giving to local school boards?
Widening out to a bigger picture, what we see is that the great majority of schools are not prepared to resume on-campus instruction safely. Simply put, our federal and state governments have not provided the sufficient guidance, the funding, the resources and the support to allow for students and staff to come back to campus safely. Until that's remedied, most schools would be advised to, at a minimum, have a hybrid model of education, if not completely distance learning, until we get a better handle on this virus and control its spread, because schools simply don't have the resources and the capacity to implement the measures that would provide a reasonable degree of safety.
All right, so in your view, what actually needs to be done to make it comfortable for both teacher, for parents, and the students to return to the classroom?
It's very challenging at this time simply because our community spread is so great. If we were to send students and staff back to campus, we would be taking an unprecedented risk. Can you do social distancing on your particular campus? Do you have enough space to spread out students in more classrooms than normal? And if you're going to spread out students across more classrooms, so you have fewer students in each room, that means you need to have more teachers. Are you able to have multiple sanitation stations at each school?
Are you getting any direction from the local school districts, even here in the Coachella Valley, who are saying, give us some guidance as to what we can do and how we can do it efficiently?
Most school districts had been leaning toward a hybrid model until recently. But with this surge and people reevaluating whether it's safe to come back on campus, more and more schools like LA Unified, Fresno Unified, San Diego Unified, all of San Joaquin County have opted for distance learning indefinitely until we get a handle on this virus.
Okay, what about parents who don't feel secure in sending their child to school? What resources are available to them so that if they have to resort to homeschooling, they are getting some support?
So this is an excellent question. We have a lot of resources on our website, which is csba.org/coronavirus. Many school districts are working to make these resources available either through their websites, through direct information, whether that's mailers, whether it's through emailing or text to parents. And this is an area where schools really need to focus. We can't take our foot off the pedal. We have to work harder than we ever have to support students, because we know that parents are juggling a lot. And so there needs to be a great investment by the state in terms of providing the means for every family to access the internet, and in terms of professional development and standardization of practice so that distance learning becomes much more effective than it was in the spring.
So schools are supposed to open next month here in the Valley. Are we ready? Yes or no?
But if you had to give a blanket response to most areas in the state, are they prepared to safely return to school and provide a reasonable guarantee of comfort and security to families and to staff? That part should not be overlooked. The answer is no. Most schools in California are not prepared for this onslaught.
Troy, thank you so much for spending time with us today.
Thank you for having me.
And keep it right there. We'll be right back.
In Your Health Today, so far this week, we've told you that watermelon and cucumbers are two foods that prevent dehydration. Well, today we are talking about the oh-so-popular avocado. The buttery fruit may not seem hydrating, but they contain healthy fats and fiber, which help the body hold on to water. Not only that, in honor of National Stress Awareness Day today, avocados are listed as the #1 food to fight stress. It can be eaten in a range of different ways, whether you enjoy it raw or as a dip like guacamole. They contain something called glutathione, which specifically blocks oxidative damage. Avocados also contain higher levels of vitamin E, folate, and beta-carotene than any other fruit, which boosts stress-busting properties. Just be careful with portion control when eating avocado because it is high in fat, so one is plenty. That's what's happening in Your Health Today.
Let's take a live look right now to the big board in New York City. You're looking at it all in negative territory, down about 178 points at this point. And jobless numbers are in. 1.3 million filed for unemployment last week. Right now, 17.3 million people are receiving jobless benefits. Right now, let's go to Frank Holland. He has a look at other business headlines.
Twitter says it appears a coordinated attack on employees with access to its internal systems allowed hackers to get access to several high-profile accounts as part of a Bitcoin scam. Fake tweets were sent from Elon Musk, President Obama, Bill Gates, and others, offering to send people $2,000 for every $1,000 they sent to a Bitcoin address. Twitter quickly deleted those tweets and temporarily locked down all activity on all verified accounts. A top White House official says the Trump administration could announce restrictions on TikTok within weeks. The U.S. government is examining potential national security risks for the popular social video app, which is owned by Chinese firm ByteDance, specifically as it relates to the gathering of data on Americans. TikTok has denied it is a security risk and has taken measures to distance itself from the Chinese version of the app. It appointed a former Disney executive as its new CEO and pulled out of Hong Kong last week after it adopted a new national security law. With your CNBC Morning Business Report, I'm Frank Holland.
The federal government carried out its second execution, this week. Wesley Perkey was put to death by lethal injection at the Federal Correction Complex in Indiana. That happened this morning. Perkey was convicted in 1998 of kidnapping, raping, and killing a 16-year-old girl. A third federal execution is scheduled for tomorrow. Now to new developments in the George Floyd case. Unsealed police body camera footage viewed by NBC News is revealing more about the final moments of Floyd's life. The two body camera videos provide the clearest picture yet of what led to George Floyd's death. This as his family announces a lawsuit against the city of Minneapolis and the 4 officers charged in his death. Here's NBC's Gabe Gutierrez.
I can't breathe. These cell phone videos first sparked the global outrage.
Mama, get up, we're getting the car right.
But now, for the first time, authorities have unsealed key police body camera videos of George Floyd's death, allowing the public to view the footage in person, though not releasing them for broadcast.
These body camera videos were the most extensive view of the interactions between George Floyd and those police officers. You see George Floyd almost startled. You see his facial expression, and you hear how apologetic he is about the entire situation and how fearful he is about what is about to transpire.
The body cameras from rookie officers Thomas Lane and Alex King show them responding to a call about someone allegedly passing a fake $20 bill at a Minneapolis convenience store in May. When the officers arrive, they're directed to Floyd in his car. As Lane approaches, he tells Floyd to show his hands, then draws his gun. Then, as officers struggle to get him into a squad car, Floyd says he's claustrophobic. Once he's restrained, Floyd tells officers he can't breathe, adding, "You're going to kill me." Former officer Derek Chauvin, who pressed his knee on Floyd's neck, says, "Then stop talking. Takes a heck of a lot of oxygen to talk." Chauvin is now charged with second-degree murder and manslaughter. While he's not commented publicly, in a court filing this week, his attorney objected to a gag order a judge recently imposed and suggested that his client's alleged actions were justifiable in the line of his duties as a Minneapolis police officer. According to another court filing, Officer Lane said he felt that Floyd might be having a medical emergency while he was pinned to the ground. He asked whether Floyd should be turned over on his side. Chauvin says he should stay put. At one point, Floyd says, "Mama, I love you. Tell my kids I love them. I'm dead." Wednesday, Floyd's family filed a wrongful death civil lawsuit against the officers in the city of Minneapolis.
This is the tipping point. This is the tipping point for policing in America.
That was Gabe Gutierrez reporting. The United States Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg has been released from the hospital. A court spokeswoman said in an emailed statement that Ginsburg was, quote, home and doing well. She had gone to the hospital Monday after, that was in the evening, after experiencing fever and chills. There she received treatment for a possible infection. Researchers in France say a pregnant woman passed the coronavirus on to her unborn child. The woman was infected during the last trimester of pregnancy, and the virus did affect the baby. CNN's Cyril Vanier reports.
Dr. Danielle DeLuca specializes in critical care for newborns at this hospital outside Paris. At the height of the pandemic in France, late March, dozens of pregnant mothers presenting severe coronavirus symptoms were admitted here. In a research paper recently published in the medical journal Nature, the doctor says it's now confirmed that one of the mothers transmitted the virus to her unborn child.
This is the reality. The virus can pass through the placenta to the baby. In the beginning, we thought, well, this is never going to happen. This is not true. That's the reality. And that's bad news.
The doctor says the virus was present in the mother's blood, which is rare, and was then transmitted through the placenta. And when the baby boy was delivered, he tested positive for the virus.
There were already strong suspicions of what is called neonatal transmission, but Dr. DeLuca says his study confirms it. The hospital carried out half a dozen tests on the baby boy: swabs, blood tests, tests of the placenta, the cord, the amniotic fluid, all within an hour of the birth, all confirming that the baby was indeed infected before he even came into this world.
Within 24 hours, the newborn presented severe neurological complications, cerebral inflammation, and irregular muscle movements.
I cannot deny that. In the beginning, we were very worried. These were severe symptoms, so we were worried. And then, as I told you, they improved pretty steadily. We're very happy.
The virus left no lasting damage, and the baby was discharged from the hospital less than 3 weeks later.
When it happens, well, as you see, the baby is most likely going to recover pretty soon alone.
According to the doctor, there is now growing evidence that newborns are resistant to COVID-19. And the best news of all, he says, neonatal transmission of the virus remains extremely rare. Cyril Vanier, CNN, Paris.
Here comes the sun. NASA released new pictures of the sun. These are the closest pictures ever taken of our sun. These new pictures will help scientists piece together the sun's atmospheric layers, which is important for understanding how it drives space weather near Earth and throughout the solar system. And speaking of sun, there's plenty of it, as you can see from our Walter Clark Highway 111 cam in Rancho Mirage. Now, this is looking east. Now let's look west from our Agua Caliente Casino cam in Palm Springs. Jerry has your forecast next.
Awesome blue skies in our Agua Caliente Casino cam. Plenty of sunshine this afternoon and tomorrow again. Looks like a string of nice days. Pretty typical. Numbers are not going to vary too far off the mark for mid-July. Yesterday, we did have temps that were close to normal, 1 degree off with 109 in Palm Springs yesterday. We'll be at that number again today for many of us in the valley. Right now, triple digits, just above that number for many of us in the valley. 91 Yucca Valley and Cabazon, 77 Big Bear, 29 Palms, 100. Just ticked up a notch since last half hour. A lot of sunshine on our satellite imagery. Not much going on over the southwest either. You got to look to Arizona and New Mexico. That's where that monsoonal moisture is being pulled up and tracking some thunderstorms in that area as well. But it's all staying out of the Southern California area. Matter of fact, our dry weather pattern continues. Again, 108 to 112, much like yesterday. Temperatures close to normal, a lot of sunshine. Onshore flow getting a little breezy, wind-prone areas, but nothing too crazy. Staying well below advisory strength. San Gorgonio Pass into the high desert, getting some of the strongest winds. Just breezes for the rest of us in the valley. We did have some fog the last couple of starts. Well, tomorrow morning it'll return. A little more aggressive, pushing into the San Gorgonio Pass, very western end, but mainly the Inland Empire, patchy fog at best. Now, today, 110s for many of us this afternoon, about the same for Friday. Then things change over the weekend. Ridge of high pressure begins to strengthen over the area, and that'll boost those temperatures up into the low teens. That'll be Saturday afternoon, mostly sunny skies. 114 on Sunday. Could see temps as high as 117 on Sunday afternoon. And Monday, similar numbers to that around the Coachella Valley. As far as skies, lots of sunshine today, tomorrow. Saturday and Sunday, some mid-level moisture begins to come in on Monday, but mostly sunny skies nonetheless, and dry weather pattern with us through the weekend. Okay, when will we see the monsoonal moisture? It's going to stay out of the area for Southern California in our near future. Got to wait until next week. Matter of fact, a whole week before this begins to happen. Dry weather pattern through Wednesday. Then it's Friday into Saturday. That's a whole week away. We begin to see some of that move into the area. We could see some thunderstorms in Southern California. Still most of the action staying to our east. Here's your Comfort Air 7-day forecast. 110 today, tomorrow. Temps move up a little bit. Sunday and Monday, the two hottest days with 114 for Palm Springs. Numbers come down a little bit Tuesday and Wednesday.
friends, now don't adjust your dials. Yes, it is July, and yes, it is kind of toasty outside, but we have a special visitor from the North Pole because guess what? It's Christmas in July. So please welcome Uli Haslacher from Pour Moi Skincare. Hey, Uli.
Ho, 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 Sandy.
Ho, ho, ho to you. Hey, it looks like you are just right off of the North Pole, and I understand it's Christmas in July for skincare.
Yes, it is. You know, the only safe trip you can take these days is an imaginary trip to the North Pole. And guess what? I saw Santa there, and I showed him my hands. On this hand, I use Climate Smart Skincare. And on this hand, I use a regular moisturizer. And Mrs. Claus could not believe it.
Well, you know, obviously, we don't know what shopping's going to be like for the holidays. We're a little over 100 days away from Christmas, so it's not too soon to start thinking of a genius gift. And I think, really, the gift of skincare is perfect for everyone, because I know that your products work for men and women as well.
Exactly. Here's the beauty about Climate Smart Skincare. You don't have to know yet who is on the nice and naughty list. You don't have to know their age. You don't have to know their skin type, ethnicity, any of the demographics. All you need to know is where they are. Because, you know, skincare, think of Climate Smart Skincare as anti-aging skincare for your zip code. So that's, you know, this is all you need to know. And Sandy, who's ever returned the gift of useful skin or regifted? Nobody.
Well, I love that it's really customized for our climate and where we live, because as you see the mountains behind us, we sometimes will go up skiing. We're 2 hours away from the slopes. We're 2 hours away from the beach. And of course, right here in the desert, we have very hot temperature and dry climates. So you have a little something for all of those, you know, situations as it pertains to our skin.
Exactly. We have our gift sharing set early in July because, as you said, nobody has a crystal ball. We don't know if we're going to be in stores, what's going to happen. But one thing we know for sure, and I heard it from the man himself, Santa told me, COVID cannot cancel Christmas. So let's get ready for it. So here is our 2020 limited edition Christmas bag, all vegan. Isn't this adorable? Sandy, it has a little bling too with snowflakes. And then in there is our clarifying polish, which is a 3-in-1 product. It's a cleanser, a softener, and an exfoliator in one simple step. It's wonderful, all made in France, and an amazing Christmas gift. Number 2, out of our, you know, gift sharing set is our jasmine mask. Now where we are all spending so much time more in front of the screens, we are hit by this harmful blue light, which we know won't give us a disease, but it speeds up aging. So this is your antidote against your, you know, I have a hard time pronouncing it, but you know what I mean. This helps you to keep youthful, beautiful skin despite that anti-blue light that comes out. And then we have our minis for the desert. So you break them up and you give one in each of the stocking. So you have all of this today, $100 off. This will be our best offer instead of $189. We're going to get into the Christmas spirit with just having all of it for $89.
Oh my goodness, that is amazing. And we happen to have one here as well. So we love this. And you know what? What I love is that travel bag. That's so multi-purpose. It's wonderful for your products. But as you said, what great stocking stuffers. And again, men and women can use it. I can't wait to try this and the clarifying lotion, because I know all of these products are really going to address our skin issues here in the desert. And what a great gift. You know, I think the gift of skincare, as I said before, is a wonderful gift to share with everyone, regardless of age.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
ho, Yuli, we appreciate you being with us. We appreciate celebrating Christmas in July. Not too late for you to get back to the North Pole. We'll make sure that Santa gets these out at that special pricing. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye, and ho, ho, ho to Palm Springs.
Well, you know, as we slowly move into our new normal, Valley businesses are addressing new guidelines and client concerns. But one local business has been conscientious about putting their customers first for decades. Palm Desert Kitchens opened their doors in 2001, and one of the reasons for their enormous success with kitchen design might just be that co-owner Dennis McAllister started out as a professional chef.
I had 5 restaurants from New York to California. I started very young, 19 years old, in New York. I had a liquor license in New York at 19. I had a liquor license in California at 23. I was on Hollywood Boulevard. They used to call me the kid. Under cabinet lighting, interior lighting, it's all LED lighting now. I transitioned from the bar and restaurant business, and then I said, what do I want to do? And I realized I wanted to stay in the cooking and kitchen industry. I went to chef school and I cooked in my own restaurants as well. So when I designed with cooking in mind. When I do a kitchen, it's a true chef's kitchen. Everything will be right at your fingertips. We hit the mark on all of that. And I've been doing it now since 1986. I started doing more out here in this little location than I did in Los Angeles. This is a cherry wood, and notice here we did nati. So when I start designing, I design with cooking in mind. Everything should be at your fingertips. You should be able to take a few steps and get at everything. The smallest kitchens are the hardest to design. Give me a large area and anybody can do a good job. But like here, I have a small showroom. I can put out a party for 100 people in a very small kitchen. You have your cooktop with freestanding range. You have big deep drawers for pots and pans. I've got spice racks. I've got sherries, wines, towels. I've got spatulas and serving spoons. I got a double trash pull out. My refrigerator would be close by. And I'm operating 2 or 3 steps and I have everything going. You can get creative with colors. It doesn't cost you any more money. It's my job to. So when the job's done, you go, wow. We just don't want, oh, that's nice. Wow, who did this for you? Let's say you're a little short. You can't reach up, so this is very accessible for you. And anybody that contacts me, I can help them. and we start from basic, I do work in mobile home communities, all the way up to the most custom that you can have. So I want to be able to serve everyone, and no matter where they come from, everybody gets treated the same. I give them everything I got, and whatever project I get involved in, whether it's 5,000 or 500,000, they get everything that I can possibly give them. We have white interiors, natural maple interiors, all full extension, soft close, of course, all soft closed doors. Quite frankly, we got all the bases covered. When someone walks in here, if they walk out without me working for them, I didn't do my job.
Well, not only does Dennis do his job well, but his wife and partner Angel is also a very talented designer, and if clients are interested, she will lend her knowledge of the ancient practice of feng shui to the projects as well. Palm Desert Kitchens, a great asset to our desert living. For Desert Living Now, I'm Sandy Newton.